Okay.
Ready? Good afternoon and welcome to this meeting of the Deep Creek Watershed Board of Zoning Appeals for May 15th, 2025. At this time, I'll request everybody in the room to make sure their electronic devices are on silent or turned off. We have a quorum present, so at this point I will call the meeting to order. I am your board chairman, Bruce Swift. To my left, board member Bill Ingram, Bob Hoffman, Steve Nagy, and Mike Beard. To my right, acting zoning administrator Chad Fike. We are your Deep Creek Watershed Board of Zoning Appeals. We are appointed by the county commissioners and serve at their pleasure. The purpose of this board is to provide competent interpretation and full equitable application of the Deep Creek Watershed zoning ordinance. Gentlemen, you should have received in your packet a copy of the minutes of our last meeting of February 20th, 2025. If there are no additions or corrections, I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes as written.
Make a motion to approve.
Mr. Ingram, a second.
Second.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
When I looked, I didn't get a, hopefully an updated copy, but there was, in that February 20 minutes, I was listed.
I see that.
I was not there.
I see that. So then let the record show we need to amend the minutes to remove Robert Hoffman, as he was not present in the Thursday, February 20th, 2025 meeting. Is that our only correction?
Yes, from my perspective, yes.
Then I kind of assume the motion is good for as corrected. Please. Second and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So passed. We'll move on, at this point, we'll move on to the public portion of our meeting. We have two special exceptions. This board is this board provides a quasi-judicial proceeding. All board decisions are based on the provisions outlined in the zoning ordinance. We have two different types of cases today. They're just special exceptions. We have two cases today. Any persons intending to offer testimony will be sworn in. While this board will make every effort to come to a final decision this afternoon, the board has up to 10 days to render a decision if needed. Decisions by this board can be appealed to the Circuit Court of Garrett County for a period of 30 days from the date of the board's decision. For the benefit of those in attendance as well as those watching online, we request that you step up to the microphone before beginning your testimony. So today's first special exception is SE 514. By application dated April 24th, 2025, Allison Lenhart of Espresso Alley has applied to allow a drive-through restaurant in the town center zone. The property is located in 7790 Sangaron Road, tax map 42, parcel 408 in zone town center. Pursuant to section 157.024.E.18 of the Deep Creek Watershed zoning ordinance, drive-through restaurants require a special exception granted by the Board of Appeals in accordance with section 157.166. Notice is hereby given pursuant to section 157.168 of the Deep Creek Watershed zoning ordinance that the board will conduct a public hearing on the application at 3:00 p.m. on May 15, 2025 in the County Commissioners meeting room, second floor, Courthouse Annex, Oakland. The board welcomes your comments submitted to the hearing or in writing before hearing. Those persons attending should enter the building through the Alder Street entrance. Copies of this application were sent to adjoining property owners including, Allison Lenhart is the applicant, adjoining property owners, Mountain Maryland Enterprises, First United Bank and Trust, Redbud LLC, HMS Properties LLC, Sister Holdings LLC, and Cedar Creek Condominiums, and a notice was emailed. Mr. Fike, do we have any letters in opposition or in favor of this application?
No, we did not receive anything.
Who's going to present today's application? Samantha, please stand up to the microphone. Your name and address for the record, please.
Samantha Gravel, 1426 Memorial Drive, Oakland, Maryland, 21550.
Please proceed.
This request is for a special exception for a drive-through use. The proposed use on this property will be a drive-through coffee shop. Ms. Lenhart operates a similar facility already elsewhere in the county and is looking to open a second location and or move to this location. But in any case, she operates a coffee shop as of now. This proposed coffee shop will be drive-through and walk-up orders only. There will not be any interior seating area. They will likely have an on-site outdoor seating area available, picnic tables, that kind of thing. The exact location of that on the site is yet to be determined, but everything is expected to be able to basically fit within the existing pavement footprint. This is the site of the former NLP sales office. And so I would anticipate, if I were to see, I would anticipate the outdoor seating area will probably fall in this particular area over in here. But that will be determined. I have 11 parking spots currently shown as available. For me, this was a little bit of a sticky one on exactly number of parking of spots, how that determination will, but I've got 11 shown. We have ample more room for additional parking along here if more than 11 spots are needed to support the use kind of thing. So we can fit a bunch more parking if we need it. I think 11 is more than enough for number of employees, things like that. There will be no indoor seating. But yeah, it will be a coffee shop. They're proposing to operate Monday through Sunday, so all week long, generally expecting to operate about 7 a.m. till 8 p.m. Are the currently expected operation hours. Anybody have any questions?
Sam, you said there won't be any indoor seating. Will there be public restrooms?
That, to be honest, I am not 100% sure. I'm unfortunately not positive on that. I'm sure there likely are to be restrooms, obviously interior for the staff.
Exactly.
But I'm not 100% sure if there will be publicly available restrooms on site, since it is intended to be a drive-through and carry-out only.
Fair enough.
Other questions?
More of just a statement for you, Samantha. I mean, our board, we're hearing that this from a zoning perspective, just a special exception. If this board were to pass, to grant a special exception, I just want to make sure, obviously, you're still going to be subject to any other entities, health department, county roads, entrance, things like that. So just wanted to say that for the record. So.
Oh, yes,
Thank you.
of course, yes. Intending to use the existing entrance. It was a commercial entrance before, will be a commercial use again. Have not specifically received the okay from roads department.
Sure.
But yes, as we go, once we get a special exception approved and we move forward with the actual site plan submission and stuff, we will make sure that all of those things are good. But yes, we do not expect any difficulties with county roads, public utilities, health department, any of those
Okay.
entities.
Gentlemen, any other questions for Samantha?
No, sir.
Thank you. Anybody else in here to speak in favor of this application? Anybody to speak opposed? Doesn't look like it. Okay. Thank you. We will move on to special exception number SE 515 by application dated April 24th, 2025. James Hamill has applied to allow the construction of a private indoor boat storage building in the Ag Resource Zone. The property is located at 396 Penn Point Road, tax map 66, parcel 444, pursuant to section 157.024C.6 of the Deep Creek Watershed Zoning Ordinance. Indoor boat storage buildings conducted as a principal use require a special exception granted by the Board of Appeals in accordance with section 157.166. Notice is hereby given pursuant to that section, to section 157.168 of the Deep Creek Watershed Zoning Ordinance, that the board will conduct a public hearing on the application at 3:00 p.m. on May 15th in the County Commissioners Meeting Room, 2nd floor. Copies of this application were sent to the applicant and adjoining property owners, Jody and Elizabeth Wagner, Dwayne and Angela Pitzer, James C. Stewart, Jeffrey Kozarski, and Deep Creek Lake Management. Mr. Fike, any letters in favor or opposition?
No, didn't receive anything.
Who's going to present our case today, John? Step up here, please. State your name and address for the record.
I am John Bell. Address is 2 Vacation Way, McHenry, Maryland, 21541. Here today to represent my client, James Hamill. James is down in Florida, and we didn't want to miss this zoning meeting, so I'm here for him. I think it's a fairly simple request. There are other similar buildings on the street. Chad, I don't know if you want to pull it up. We do have a drawing showing the location of the property. One of the reasons I think that is important is on Pinpoint Road, the road line is all heavily wooded, so where we have the buildings situated, it shouldn't be very visible to the road. It really shouldn't change the aesthetics of the community at all. The only neighbor I spoke to was Mr. Kaczynski and Jill. They walked over one day onto the property, and their original concern was it was going to be commercial or something like that, and I told them it's not. It's just for Mr. Hamill's personal use. The building's just a simple pole building, gravel floor, no electric, just 2 bays to store his boats. Mr. Hamill has a house probably 2 or 3 miles down the road, and just wanted to build this to store his toys.
Is that it?
That's on my end.
Okay. Board, anybody have any questions for Mr. Bell?
Couple for you, John.
Sure.
Within the application, the use was listed as primary. Within your letter to the zoning board, you have it listed as an accessory use.
I don't know the right answer on that, but there will be no house there, no living area, just, I don't know what the technical term is, just boat storage.
That's where I was getting at. So there's not going to be a second floor, and you've already testified that there'll be no electric, no plumbing.
That's correct. There are no living areas whatsoever, no second floor, pole building with gravel floor.
Secondarily, if you don't mind me continuing, it also says the architectural features will be consistent to keep it within character of the neighborhood, but you're saying that it's just a straight pole building.
That's correct. The neighbor's property, if I'm on Pinpoint Road looking at the property to the left, his building is black. Is the color of it, kind of sticks back, and we're thinking kind of the same color. Just basically an earth tone color, just so it blends in and isn't very visible.
It should be a metal siding building.
Correct, yeah.
And the square footage of it?
It is 30 by 52.
He's got a lot of toys.
Yeah, and he has 2 really cool boats.
That's the correct representation of the building, you think, John? 30 by 30, that's what he's at, that's
Correct. Yeah.
30, 55, yeah, okay, yes.
If you notice, we pushed it back far from the road as we could. That line through the middle is a power line, so we didn't want to get too close to that power line.
Yeah, I saw it. Is it representative of the footprint with what's been cleared on the property now?
So pretty much. If you stop by the property, not exact, but pretty much where that building, there will be no more clearing other than just a couple little trees for driveway. So the driveway already exists, we're using the same place. And short answer to your question is yes, that area where it gets built is where it's already cleared.
Okay. So some of that tree line in the front of the property is going to remain?
It all stays.
Okay.
Correct. So to answer your question, even from this line here, there is, from there to the road, there are no plans to cut any more trees. For the community's sakes and for his sakes, we don't want it to be very visible behind there.
And you already said there's no plans, John, for a second building?
No,
This is it?
just the one.
Okay, thank you.
No
Anybody
other
else?
use at all, just the one building for storing his boats.
Cool.
Anybody else? Okay, thanks, John. I think I already know the answer to this question, but anybody else here to speak in favor of this application? Anybody speak opposed? Very good. At this point, we will close the public portion of our meeting and go into deliberation on these special exceptions. You're welcome to stay if you want. It's up to you guys. Gentlemen, any comments on SE 514? a reasonable use to me of the space.
Yeah, I think it's a great use.
It's, good addition to the neighborhood, and I don't know of any conditions you wanna impose. It was already a commercial use,
And there's not a dwelling that's occupied that's really close, is there?
not really that,
No.
that what dermatology office or something is like next to it.
He's up, but that's,
He's kinda up the road a little bit.
yeah, and
No
that would.
houses or nothing.
That's only used during the day, I think, you know. So, I mean, I was thinking it from a lighting standpoint, you know, when you mentioned conditions, I don't.
Next closest thing's at Cedar Creek probably, but they're through the woods a little ways.
And it's only open, planned to be open till 8 o'clock, yeah.
Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I think that's unanimous. Thanks, Samantha.
Sure wish you got the coffee.
Okay, on to special exception 515. Any comments, questions, concerns from the board?
Some discussion, Mr. Chairman, and not directly proportional or in direct opposition to this petition. Just the size and practice of accessory buildings. Can't call it an accessory building because there's no primary building there. But for this purpose, I do slightly disagree with John's testimony that it's in keeping with the neighborhood. He's kind of addressed that with the way that that they're planning to keep some foliage in place, and it's already matured, so it's not like some other options where we've asked for plants to be put in.
Right. It backs up to that stream and the woods on the back. I don't think anybody can get there.
No. It's muddy in there. I pulled in, I kicked up some mud on my tires pulling out.
Once you go past the power lines, it gets muddy.
Yeah. But for future consideration with the planning commission, maybe the size and location of these could be addressed. As the ordinance is written now, I don't have any strong opposition to it. But that's just for the record.
I don't have any opposition to it at all, but I have a little problem with the ordinance, but that's a discussion for another day. I'm not sure why, and there must be a reason why the framers of our zoning ordinance decided to allow these structures. I mean, we go to a lot of problem to say, look, if you have a lot in in the zoning district that you need to build a house before you build a building, at times we've allowed them to build a storage building first when the house was coming to use it for storage and things like that. I don't really understand why calling it a boat storage building makes it okay, but again, that's a conversation for another time.
Exactly, and and it's kind of why I brought it up, just to broach it, because it's sitting here in front of us, and we've got a complete section of the ordinance that addresses, not that this is apples and apples, but that addresses mobile homes. We're talking about same material buildings kind of thing.
When you first turn on to Pinpoint from Boy Scout, and you go just a short distance, you go past that big barn that's right on the corner, and then there's another, I don't know if you call it an accessory building or whatever, but it's large, and I don't believe it's a dwelling. It's got, big garage door opening on the front, and it's been there for a little while, but not a long time, because it's in really good shape. So I saw that again when I drove down a little further to go to 396.
Right.
But
I mean, I can't
point.
dispute John's. I mean, that building that he's talking about down the road was an old sawmill, and it's an old black-sided building. This is whatever they do here will be better looking than that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
I have no problem with it. I mean, so it's up. You guys got any
No.
comments?
As I mentioned, and John, I don't mean it to be negatively impacted on your case. It's just the general idea that I wanted to bring to the chairman's mind as far as because I had some questions about it, as you mentioned.
Okay, board, I'm looking for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Mr. Hoffman's made a motion to approve. Any second? I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It's unanimous.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John. Have a nice night.
Okay, gentlemen, moving on. I have no old business to address. We had I guess I do. We had a VR 844, an application submitted by Mike Corey for a variance to allow 2 porch roofs over an existing deck to be within 21 feet of the rear property located at 43 Acorn Lane, Swanton, tax map 59, parcel 602, lot 10, grid 20, and is zoned Lake Residential 1. That we approved that at the last meeting. I know for a fact that variance was not acted upon. Mr. Corey went in a different direction. No other old business. Under new business, the next meeting is scheduled for March 20th, 2025. I am unaware if we have any cases yet.
March 20th? March?
It says March, but it would actually be June. I reckon. And maybe
Yeah.
20, and maybe the 20th isn't right, but that's what it says here. So anyway, we'll figure out what that is.
So that's June 20 is the next meeting date?
That's what it says.
If there are cases.
But we have the month wrong, so.
It'll be the
Other
third
than that,
Thursday
it's
in June.
clear.
It'll be the 3rd Thursday in June. How about that?
Yeah, there you go.
Looks like that's the 19th.
Okay, very good.
And pertaining to. special-
Juneteenth?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Pertaining to special exception 515 for conditions, just
Mhm.
as John listed there, I would recommend keeping it in the record for no water, no electric,
Mm.
no
Okay,
dwelling.
all right. Any other conditions? Anybody? All right.
Other than he said there would be no second building, I kind of specifically asked that question, so, but I don't know.
That would be another application. We'd have another shot at that, I would
Exactly,
think.
right.
I would think. So that concludes all the business I have on my agenda, gentlemen. If you don't have anything else, I'll ask for a motion to dismiss, to adjourn.
Make a motion to dismiss. Adjourn.
All in favor?